Who would have imagined that after 10 years, the little brat I met again would become so beautiful? Did you finally figure it out? She asked as tears flowed from her eyes. A former salaryman and a former brat, their fates intertwined. A romantic comedy with an age difference. Well, let's start from the start. The next station is Fujinomiya. A boy was waiting on the train at the end of March in the warm spring light. I, Arita Suki, descended onto the station platform. It had been about 10 years since I had returned to my hometown from Kyoto. I moved to Tokyo after graduating from high school. Although I managed to join a medium-sized company in the food industry, it turned out to be an exploitative company. Without the enthusiasm of youth, I somehow endured, but I didn't even have time to return to my homeland. Half a year ago, my body collapsed due to overwork, and I took a leave of absence. The company tried to keep me, but I didn't feel like staying, so I resigned. Taking the opportunity to restart my life, I returned to my home, Fujinomiya, Shizuoka Prefecture, after about 10 years. Well, it has been 10 years, I thought to myself, looking toward some girls passing by. I wonder if those brats were okay. 10 years ago, the brats who live in the neighborhood were fond of me and always made me take care of them. One said, "You and I can wake up. Hey, don't hit me like that." This was brat number 1, Mahiru Tatsuki. She was the kind of person who acted before thinking and had zero respect for me. Another one, brat number 2, Asaki Gondiji, was the most reasonable among the 3 brats, but also treated me with zero respect. She once said, "They say that sleeping too much on your off days makes you work harder on your weekends." But the most troublesome of all the brats was the one who climbed right on top of me, saying, "Wake up already." This was Miya Hariyama, the sassiest brat who lived next door. Of course, she despised me too, or so the main character, thought. Anyway, that was my past, playing around with those children. Wow, on such a beautiful Sunday, when I think back to my life with spirited youth, I can't help but remember those brats. They made me go shopping with them. We also went to the swimming pool, and I almost got in trouble with the police because of them. In the end, I realized they caused me more trouble than I thought. But now, come to think of it, they're nostalgic memories. By the time I realized it, it was becoming too late. I had to leave quickly. As I looked toward somewhere. Come to think of it, was that the shortcut I remembered? I noticed a girl getting cornered. A man said, "Is it okay if we play a little?" But the girl replied, "Please stop." All right. The man said as he came closer. I turned on my camera. "Don't worry. It's a really fun place," I said, pretending to call the police, or at least making it look like I was complaining about the man. The man pushed me out of the way and took off. I thought to myself, it was an impromptu ritual performance, but I'm glad it worked. "Are you all right?" I asked. "Yes, you saved me." "Thank you very much," she replied. She was a breathtaking beauty. That's what I'd say about her. I could see why anyone would want to get involved with her. But then I thought, having contact with a high school stranger could lead to social death. "It seems like it's all good, so I'll be going," I said. The girl tried to stop me, but then she looked toward a wallet on the ground and picked it up. I thought about how I'd done a good thing. Even so, she was still incredibly beautiful. I didn't think that in this out-of-the-way town, there'd be such a pretty girl. Could it be that she moved here while I was away? Who could she be? As I passed by, I noticed several roads had changed. Wow, that store is gone. Hey, it looks like they've opened something new here. Well, it has been 10 years already, so something has to change, I thought. Then I noticed something and realized, oh yeah, the Hariyama house is still the same. As I looked toward the nameplate, it seemed like a surname I didn't recognize. I just went to my home, thinking 10 years and things change. As the door opened, my mother welcomed me. I greeted her too. She asked, "Is coffee okay?" "Yes," I replied. I asked about where my father was and got the reply that he was out shopping. Everything here reminded me of my childhood. It looks like this is a coffee place now, I thought. Seriously though, I understand it was difficult. "You should have come back at least for New Year's," my mother said. How was I supposed to come back with only one day off on New Year's? "I was at a company with horrible conditions," I replied. Yeah, black coffee, right?" she asked. "Of course." We thanked each other. "Now you're going to stay here, right?" "What are you going to do about work?" she asked. "Well, I don't know just yet," I said. And you haven't thought about continuing the family store business? She continued. I could do that, but I need some more time to think about it, I replied. She was a bit confused, but I got the answer, oh, it's all right. By the way, I asked, did the Hariyama family move out? Is that true? Didn't I tell you? They moved right after you left for Tokyo, she said. Really? That's why the sign there was, yes, that's right. Oh, it's a customer, she interrupted. I thought, hello, welcome, as I sipped my coffee. I asked about brat number one, Mia. Did she move? That arrogant, extroverted brat who didn't respect adults. Now that I won't be able to see her anymore, it feels a bit sad. She was 7 years old at the time, so this year should be her 3rd year of high school. She's probably grown up as a tremendous Yankee by now. The door opened, and a girl replied, no, I'm actually not a client today. A client is looking for you, she said to my mother. As I looked behind me, I recognized her. It was the girl from before, the beautiful girl. Hey, what are you doing here? I thought. I contemplated. Has this unknown high school girl been following me? Did I do something wrong? Reported social. All this ran through my mind. Startled, I said, no, it's just that at the time, I saw you were in trouble, so I did something unnecessary. I'm really sorry. Please don't report me. She couldn't understand. I don't know what you're talking about, she said as she handed me my wallet. You dropped this. Is that my wallet? I was happy I wasn't getting reported. It was maybe at that time. Yes, that's why I came here. Oh, thank you so much. You really saved me. I'm glad I was able to deliver it to you, she said. All right, I should thank you in some other way, I replied. It's okay, she said. More so, I thought as she came closer, both of us falling into an awkward silence. I wondered, what could it be? Is she asking for something? Although I didn't know why, when I looked into the girl's eyes, I felt a strange sensation, something very nostalgic or something that made me angry. Why do I feel angry? I looked at her a bit more as she turned her face away, pouting. No, actually it's nothing. Anyway, I've already handed over the wallet. So see you later, she said as the door closed and I couldn't understand, thinking, what the hell actually happened? Outside the house, in a room, she buckled herself, her big bazongas free as she undressed and got into bed. She thought, it was really him. It was really Suki. He finally came back. It's been 10 years, and he hasn't changed at all, so I recognized him right away. It seems he didn't recognize me. Now it's been 10 years, so it can't be helped. But if he really forgot me, she looked toward the roof of her house and thought, I wonder if he could look at me with different eyes than before. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, you guys aren't children, I spouted out loud. What is this? All the companies here are too good. More than 100 days of vacation a year? Is there extra pay for overtime? There's a pay raise? Just how rotten was my previous job? I wondered. No. The previous company was a white company on its face, but here I must decide calmly and without haste. I still have savings. I'm here, wait, come back. It looked like she had been coming to my parents' coffee shop. She said, welcome home. I couldn't understand anything but replied, thanks. Hey, the girl from before, why are you here? Did I do something last time? I asked. Is something wrong? You're so nervous, she said. I tried to contemplate, thinking to myself, it's just that talking to a high school student at my age makes me feel a bit awkward. I don't know how to explain it. She replied, don't be so nervous, it's okay. I thought about how she smelled so good, but retorted to myself, what am I even trying to do? By the way, what brings you here today? I asked, what brings me? Well, I'm here to have a coffee. In fact, I'm a regular, she said. I looked at her and thought, oh, I see. That's why you came. I was wondering how you knew where I lived, because the address on the license inside my wallet is different. But the surname Suki in this neighborhood, our family is the only one with it. That is true, I said. If you want, I'll buy you a coffee. This place is my home now. Come to think of it, I still haven't thanked you for finding my wallet. Come to think of it, I still haven't got your name, I said. I introduced myself first. She replied, that's a good name, and thank you. I was quite awkward, unable to understand what was happening just now. So, what's your name? I asked. What's my name? She said, coming close to me. I thought, what's this look in your eyes? It's like you're testing me. She smiled a bit and, with a finger on her lips, said, it's a secret. I couldn't understand. A secret? And what's the meaning of this? What situation is this? A fashion from Osaka, maybe? Then she said, I'll call you Yu-san. I'll call you that. Do you want to play with me? Play. I asked. Yes, it's a very easy game. Try to guess my name, she said. Guess your name? I wondered. Yes, if you guess it, I'll listen to one thing you say. Anything, whatever it may be. It looked like things were moving quite well. Anything if I win again? Yes, again. To guess my name, you will have one chance a day to answer. How about that? She asked. He thought for a moment and said, what if I don't get it right? She pondered for a minute and replied, well, let's say in that case, you'll have to accept the punishment. A punishment? He said, confused. Come to think of it, how do we end up like this? What's your real goal? He wondered if she was pulling his leg. She came closer, her face blushing, and said, you don't want to. The main character was blinded by her cuteness. He thought, well, it's not like I could talk to someone this critical every day, and besides, she seems really spirited. Okay, I'll do it, he said. That's great, she exclaimed. Go ahead. They faced each other, but his mind was blank. He thought, wait, how am I supposed to guess the name of someone I just met? It's impossible. Come to think of it, she said she's a regular here. That means my mother must know her. He glanced at his mother for an answer, but she looked away, laughing. The girl said, it's quite clear that it's not okay to ask other people on this side, you know? The main character thought, my only clue has been blocked. I have no choice but to profile her face to find a clue. He stared at her, thinking, my mother knows her as well. The staring went on for a while, but the result was, I have no idea who she is. She thought, don't look at me so much, please. He realized this wasn't going anywhere. There's nothing left but to bet everything on a decisive move, he thought, placing a hand on his chin. She wondered if he had guessed it. Let's go ahead and listen, she said. He took a shot and said, Sarangi Madoka. She made a cute expression, but said, that is absolutely wrong. Boo, he thought. I knew that already. Where did you get that name? It's not even close, she said. Well, I thought it might be something like that. There are no clues, after all, he replied. So it's punishment time, she declared. He remembered the deal. That's right, he thought. Raise your arms, she instructed. That's perfect. Now don't move for 5 minutes, okay? She excused herself, but he couldn't understand. But her fingers sprang into action, tickling him uncontrollably. He begged her to stop, but she said, come on, it's a punishment game, so hold on. No, it's dangerous, he protested. Every tickle was a new experience of embarrassment. Her fingers danced under his armpits, and the sensation of her touch heightened his sensitivity. He thought, this isn't the time for that. She seemed to enjoy tickling him, even salivating a little. After 5 minutes, she wiped her sweat and said, phew, I tickled so much that even I sweated a little. The water is delicious. He was on the ground, exhausted. She said, well, I'll call it a night for today. Thanks for the invitation. He replied weakly, yes. As she left, someone laughed. It was his mother. Sarangi Madoka, really? What a ridiculously meaningless name. He said, Sheriff, it was the best I could think of at the time. By the way, Mom, you know that girl, don't you? Yes, well, I know her. But if I told you, it wouldn't be fair. It would be cheating, don't you think? She replied. Really? What the hell? He said, exasperated. But that girl is a frequent customer. Maybe she'll be back tomorrow. Aren't you excited? Well, yes, I guess so. That makes sense. Wait, that's not it, he replied, flustered. She smiled. I'm glad you've become curious about that cute girl. No, it's the complete opposite, he protested. Excuse me, we have a customer. Wait, hold on a bit. Welcome. How many people will I be serving? He said, then thought, lately, female high school students have been everywhere. No, wait, that's not it. Could it be that she's someone I know? No, there's no way I'd know someone so beautiful. Or rather, to think that I have to guess her name without any hints. Isn't that a bit weird in the first place? He smiled, thinking, I just don't understand it all. After leaving the store, she waited a bit, then ran with all her strength. Stopping to catch her breath, huffing and puffing, she thought, what am I doing? Totally flustered and embarrassed, she reflected. That wasn't even planned. That wasn't supposed to be what I should have done. I should have just said to him, It looks like you've come back, you and I. Yeah, that's what I should have done. She thought blankly, well, this is his fault, after all. A few hours earlier at the main character's cafe, she had asked someone, does the main character remember me? As soon as he came home, he regretted ever moving. He really didn't recognize me, she thought. Unfortunately, I don't think so, someone said. A mysterious, beautiful girl returned his wallet to him. He's so hopeless. Beautiful. He said something like that, she asked. Well, I asked him what this girl looked like. He said she had brown, dyed hair, was neat and trimmed, and had a nice, gentle voice. That's when I realized he was talking about you, Mia-chan, the main character's mother said. Mia was startled. Well, it's been a while since you guys last met, so I guess in his mind, you're still the same as when you were a child. That would make sense, the mother continued. By the way, has he figured out that I'm that girl? Mia asked. No, he hasn't said anything yet, but you sure are interesting. He'd never think that Mia-chan, who used to be such a tomboy, would now become a beautiful girl. I wonder what type of reaction he'll have when he figures it out. You definitely think it'd be funny, don't you? But if possible, I also want him to recognize that I've changed. Yeah, that's true. You've changed so much from Mia-chan in the past who would stick to him, saying it over and over, the mother said. Oh yeah, back then you used to say, if there's no one who wants it, I'll take it. Mia spat out her drink, totally embarrassed. What? I said something like that. Yes, you did. It's so nostalgic. Oh, that reminds me. You said a lot more passionate things too, the mother teased. Wait a second. I think it'd be better if I don't remember those things. Mia said, even though he remembers me. He's such a dummy for not recognizing me. You can't be that thick-headed. Even so, why did I make it into a game where he has to guess my name? When I saw him, I just wanted to do something naughty like I used to, but I didn't want to do it like that. She thought about how she tickled and hugged him, getting embarrassed and flustered. Now what will I do when he figures it out? Why did I have to say such a thing? As someone whispered around her, she looked around, thinking, what am I doing? This is all his fault. Now that it's come to this, I've got to do whatever I can to make sure he doesn't guess my name. She looked at a book, a fortune-telling book, and started reading it. With this, I can do something, she thought. Looking into the past, the main character had something written on his forehead. Meat. What the hell is this? He screamed. The giggling voice came from outside his door. It was Mia-chan when she was a kid. She laughed, and he thought, this freaking child. He caught her in his arms and started tickling her. I knew it was you, Mia. That's wrong, Fuji, she laughed. What's wrong? You're the one who wrote meat on my forehead. I went out without realizing it, he said. Hey, really? Yeah, and with permanent marker on top of that. I'll make you pay until you repent, he teased. Stop. I'm sorry, she begged. It seemed this was where she got the tickling game from. He calmed down, saying, oh yeah, you're sorry, but I guess a little more wouldn't hurt. She begged, hey, not on the head. Stop, wait, my head. The main character was sleeping on a bench when someone said, we have a new customer. You seem to be sleeping very comfortably. The girl greeted him by name. Oh, you're that girl, a regular customer. I'm sure she'll come tomorrow too. You're happy, aren't you? He thought. She really came. Welcome. What would you like to have, he said. The man there, the father of the main character, took the order. Oh, and could I borrow your son for a while? She asked. Of course, as long as you want, the father replied. She thanked him, and the main character was lent to her. Well then, let's play today too. But before that, if I guess your name, then sure, I'll do whatever you ask, she said. Exactly. Tell me anything you want me to do, she said, caressing herself and giving him a tempting offer to grant any wish, he thought. What the hell? I'm going to be socially destroyed by this. You're just messing with me, right? All right, I want you to see something, she said that he was surprised. She showed him a book. That's it? He asked. Yes, fortune-telling. I've been very interested in it lately, she said. Really? So, can I give you a fortune-telling lesson? She asked. Sure, that's fine, he said. That's great, she said, reading through the book. What's your birth date? My birthday is on October 2nd. That means I'm a Libra, he said. By the way, I was born on June 25th, so I'm a Cancer, she added. It seemed she was giving hints, but the thick-headed main character didn't understand. She made a pouty face, and he said, "Hey, did I do something to upset you? Maybe my face showed that I don't believe much in this. Is that why she's upset? I have to fake more interest. Oh, here's the compatibility section. I'd like to know about that. Let me check it out," he said. "Sounds good. Let's do it," she said. I see. How's this? This is amazing. Look at this. The compatibility between a Libra boy and a Cancer girl is 90%. Two people blessed by the gods with a perfect connection in every way. As long as they overcome great difficulties together, their bond will grow even stronger. That much. Yeah, 90%. We did it, she said, making a heart symbol. He thought, the content sounds suspicious, but oh well, she looks happy, so I guess it's fine. Besides, the result is good. But destiny? I guess it's about her name. Her name is the most important personality detail about her. Until I figure out, I won't be able to get close to her. Not that I want that kind of relationship with her. All right, since we're done talking, give me today's answer, she said. He was startled. He thought, there are no hints again. There's no way I can get it right without hints. No, wait, the sudden fortune-telling. Could this be a clue? That means something she said before contained the answer. Think, was there anything that stuck in my mind? He remembered how she called herself a Cancer and said she was born on June 25th. She said that twice. He thought, wait, she's been deliberately hiding her personal details so far. So normally she wouldn't mention her birth date either. Which means that's the hint. That's it. The key is Cancer, Crab. He ran his mind over it and said, from this, the answer is Takashi, Crab of Namazu. So, your name is Takashi Raikou. Maybe? She was even more disappointed. Wrong answer. Let me get this straight. I knew it. There weren't any clear hints this time either, which means another penalty today. Well then, excuse me, she said, getting up from her chair and coming closer. With a Sharpie in her hand, she said, wait, don't tell me. Don't worry, it's water-based, she reassured him as she drew something on his face. All right, that's it, she said. She wrote dunes on his forehead. Tell uncle and aunt that it was delicious, she added. What does that even mean? He thought at home. She lay on her bed, thinking he didn't even notice my birthday, but the compatibility between a Libra boy and a Cancer girl is 90%. Two people blessed by the gods. Okay, and if we manage to overcome obstacles like that, then, wait, what am I even thinking? It's not like that with him. But 90% compatibility, what if this isn't a mistake? She smiled, thinking that's it. I have to tell her that he's back in town. A beautiful girl with a big presence noticed a message on her phone. She picked it up and said, hello? Oh, this is Mia. Is it true that he's back? It seemed this was the second brat, Ryu Shirkumahiru. The main character was going to have more FUN at school. Mahu, Mia's childhood friend, was introduced. Ryu Shirkumahiru, my childhood friend who attended the same school along with me in Osaka. We would all play together with you and I. Among the three of us, Mahiru was the most athletic at the time, and she always dragged us along with her. Back then, 10 years have passed since then. Osaka now goes to a school in a different prefecture, so we don't get to meet up very often, but nothing has changed between Mahiru and me, so we still hang out. I see, so that's how things turned out. So he's back? Mahiru asked. Yes, and he hasn't realized who you are, Mia said. Yeah, that's right. And you've been making him play a game where he has to guess your real name? Is that correct? Mahiru asked. Why? I don't know why. That's just how things turn out, Mia replied. What do you mean, that's just how things turned out? I'm telling you, I don't know how it happened. How did things end up like this? Now that I think of it, it's his fault for not recognizing me. It's not my fault at all, Mia said. I'm not really following, but this seems to be getting complicated. All right, in that case, I'll go meet him myself. I don't have any club activities today, Mahiru said, blushing at the thought. Hold on, what are you saying? Are you even listening? Mia said, well, hold on. If he doesn't recognize me either, then we can both reveal our names together. It'd be a smooth way to reintroduce ourselves. That makes sense, Mahiru said. But wait a minute. If he does recognize me, that would mean he only doesn't recognize me, Mia thought, both of them in a predicament at the thought of not being recognized. Mahiru shook her head. Well, you know it's been a long time. It'll be fine, she said coldly. Anyway, Let's strike while the iron is hot. I'll head over there, Mahiru said. Mia tried to stop her, saying she's so fast. It'll be fine, right? At the cafe, the main character's home, they entered. There we go, done cleaning table number 3, the main character said as both of his parents were working. We're glad you're helping out here, but is the job search going okay? His father asked. It's not going great, but it's an easier way to keep calm if I stay busy, he replied. Moreover, it's not good to accept food and lodging for free, his father said. His mother had tears in her eyes. You really have become a fine adult, haven't you? I mean, I was working a real job until recently, but yeah, I know I can't stay here like this forever, he said. That's true. You know, you could always just take over the family business, right? His mother suggested. I suppose that's true. That's always an option. Let me think about it, he said. That's fine. Anyway, it's time for that girl to show up, his mother said. Oh, is it already that time? He wondered. Isn't it about time you guessed correctly about her identity? It's not like I'm getting it wrong on purpose, he said. Speaking of the devil, his mother said as someone entered, it was Mahiru. The main character was flustered, thinking, what a cute girl she is. She looked blankly at him, and he introduced her. She ran toward him as fast as she could, jumping and leaping onto him, suffocating him in her embrace. He said with a blushing, embarrassed face, Please let me go. Saw thee. What was that for? She said. I just got a bit emotional, that's all. He took a good look at her bright smile, sharp looks, short black hair, and those mischievous eyes. Mia-chan finally caught up and wondered if Mahiru had already talked to him. She's the same as she's always been, so maybe he'll recognize her. No, he's so thick-headed, he definitely won't notice. Mia reassured herself, thinking back to how flat-chested she used to be. There's no way he'd know it's her because of how much she's grown. It was frustrating for her. Maybe it'll be fine, she thought. Good afternoon, Mahiru said. Are you perhaps Mahiru? The main character asked. It seemed he recognized the second brat. The expression on Mia-chan's face was enough to tell she was upset. Back when a main character used to play with Mahiru, she punched him in a sensitive spot, and he slumped to the ground, groaning. A dirty move, he thought. Maybe I've gotten a little too strong, she said. Ryu, Shirku, Maru, one of the brats I used to take care of 10 years ago, he recalled. The Mahiru from my memories had short black hair and mischievous eyes. She was good at sports and would get a tan in the summer. We shared the same hobbies, and I treated that brat like she was one of the guys. It's true that a lot about her hasn't changed, but I never expected her to turn out this attractive. Also, she's gained a bit of weight in her chest. Back in the present, he instantly remembered who she was. Are you Mahiru? He asked that Mia-chan was in a predicament. The main character's mother welcomed everyone. Just one moment. Right, hold on a second. I have a favor to ask, she said. Mahiru and the main character sat at table. Man, it's sure been a while, Mahiru. You haven't changed a lot, you know, you and I, she said. Do you think so? You haven't either, he replied. Well, besides the fact that you've gotten a lot bigger. Seriously? But it really has been a while. You never came back even once in the last 10 years. I thought you had forgotten about me, she said. There's no way I'd forgotten. There was a deep, dark reason why I couldn't come back, he said. What's with that response? She asked, a bit scared. You must be in your 3rd year of high school now, right? Are you doing any club activities? He asked. Oh yeah, I'm kind of the volleyball team captain since 6th grade, she said. Wait, captain? He asked. Yeah, basically, she said with an embarrassed smile. He closed his face with his hands. What's wrong with you? She asked. The brat girl I used to know is a team captain now, he said, tearing up. I'm not a kid anymore, you know, but you're still a kid to me. You're turning into an old man, geez, she teased. Based on your clothes, you must be going to Katai, right? He asked. Yep, today's the first day of class. I was at a summer camp until just yesterday, she said. Oh, is that so? How are Mia and Asaka doing? He asked. She stared at him. Yeah, they're totally fine. Mia goes to the same school as me, but Asaka goes to a boarding school, so we don't see her as much. I see, so that's how things turned out. Why are you curious about them? She asked. I guess it's more like I'm wondering how they ended up. Like, with Mia, I feel like she probably became a gal-type girl or something, he said, imagining. She laughed. Why are you laughing? Oh, it's nothing, she said. What's with you? I told you it's nothing, she insisted. Whoops, hold on a second, I just got a message. Meet me at the Avon Mall McDonald's, she read. Hearing Yu's assumptions about her makes Mia feel a bit embarrassed, so she states to Mahiru to give her an indication. Mahiru subsequently tells you that she has something to do, hence has to leave. This upsets you a bit. Noticing that, Mahiru asks why he has that look on his face. Yu smiles and says that it's nothing serious. It's just that he was happy to see her after a long time and wishes to hang out with her more often from now on. Mahiru gets up from her seat and in an instant hugs you. She presses his head against her chest. This shocks and kinda annoys Mia. With a blushing face, Mahiru welcomes back you, before breaking the hug, leaving you baffled. Later, Mia and Mahiru sit down at a restaurant where Mahiru mentions that Yu hasn't changed a bit, except for his hair, which has been thinning out with age. But the question that was eating away at Mia was, how did you recognize Mahiru? Yet he didn't recognize her. Mahiru says she can't really say why he recognized her. However, she can tell that he couldn't recognize Mia because she has changed a lot since when he last saw her. In a way, she has become more reserved. Meanwhile, Mia thinks that Mahiru hasn't changed one bit since then. Although, she has grown a lot in some areas, which makes Mahiru ask what she meant. Anyway, Mahiru tells Mia that she should have just told you who she was when they first met instead of playing this weird guessing game. This frustrates Mia, who explains that when they first ran into each other, she recognized you right away, but he didn't. The next time they met, the situation was different, and Mia thought it wouldn't be right to tell him at that moment. And no matter what happened, you just wouldn't recognize her. Hearing this, Mahiru tells her that she looks obsessed to get him to recognize her. This makes Mia blush, and she denies it being like that. Instead, she just wants to see the look on his face when he finally recognizes her. Mahiru finds it weird that Mia was so obsessed with such a little thing. That being said, it is not like she didn't also think about you throughout these 10 years. Now that he is back, she wants to spend a lot of time with him. Have fun, go to the pool, and whatnot. She is then reminded of the old times, when she was admittedly a big nuisance to YUU.as. She reminisces about the past. She can't help but smile. Mia notices this and calls her out for this. She accuses Mahiru of having lewd thoughts about you. Mahiru is taken aback by this, and she feigns innocence. Mia doubles down and also brings up how Mahiru had basically pushed Yu's face against her breasts. Mahiru claims that she had done it because of the happiness that struck her by meeting you after 10 years. Mia questions if she would rub her breasts on anyone's face if she meets them after a long time, disgusting Mahiru. Regardless, Mia expresses her displeasure over being the only one not recognized by you, so she wants Mahiru to cooperate with her on this. Mahiru agrees. Later, Yu looks on perplexed as the others make their orders at the cafe. Somehow, he was sitting right opposite to both Mahiru and Mia, and they didn't know why he sat in front of two very beautiful girls, and he didn't know what to do. He says that while he knew that the two of them were from the same school because they wore the same uniform, he had no idea that they were friends. Mia replies by saying that she also didn't have any clue that Yu and Mahiru were acquainted. He says that he knew Mahiru from over 10 years ago. Mia thinks that it's quite the coincidence. Yu is still overwhelmed by the situation at hand, but Mahiru just wants him to notice the obvious thing. He has no clue that the girl sitting in front of him is the same Mia who used to manipulate him 10 years ago. Mia then asks you what kind of girl Mahiru was when she was a kid. Yu says that Mahiru was the kind of girl who didn't talk a lot, but she was definitely a brat. She would go off to various places, doing dangerous stuff. She would build secret mountain bases and create problems there. Mia says that it must have been quite the hassle, which annoys Mahiru, because Mia was also a part of that. Yu then goes on to say that there were two other brats who he would attend to along with Mahiru. One of the girls used to live next door to him. Mia, knowing who he's talking about, asks him to describe her. But Mahiru was hoping that they don't go to that topic. But Yu continues and says the girl was named Mia, and she was by far the brattiest one of them all. The one who created the most problems, pulled countless pranks, and the one who dragged him in her mess. This pisses off Mia, but she puts a blank face, all to Mahiru's dismay. Yu then asks for Mahiru's approval of his description of Mia, and she has to reluctantly agree, pissing Mia off further. But she calms down when Yu mentions that he would like to see her again. Mahiru was worried that they might have dived too deep and was hoping for you to just recognize her. But these words from you were enough for Mia, who was smiling and blushing. She adds that she hopes that you get to see this bratty girl soon. You hope for the same, and he knows that he will eventually meet her after coming back to the place. Following this, Mia asks for you to take his guess for the day. You is also reminded of it, and for today, he guesses Mia's name to be Satomi Kuju. Mahiru is surprised by the weird name guess. Mia tells you that the name is wrong, to which you adds that he knew that would be the case. Mahiru thinks Mia is being very obvious with her flirty behavior, and that she should have some shame at least. Mia then tells you that she's in a good mood today, so there will be no punishments for him. You replies that while he can't quite grasp what she means, it does seem like a good thing. Whereas Mahiru is confused by the concept of a punishment. Anyway, Mia follows it up by saying that they should take their leave, but Mahiru has some plans before leaving. Mahiru suggests they swap contact information before leaving. Yu isn't so eager about that, because he doesn't like using Line. He doesn't like how it ends up marking his messages as read, even though he is just working. Mahiru thinks that's quite a weird reason, and asks what they should be doing then. Yu says that he should just make a new account in that case. He does so in a bit, and Mahiru ends up adding him. Having used contact on her phone made her very happy. Mia notices this and calls her out on it, but Mahiru acts like it's nothing. Following this, the two girls take their leave as they start walking. Mia calls out to Mahiru, and she calls him a big meanie because she's the only one who shared contact information with you. Mahiru says that she can also get his contact, but there's something working against it. Mia knows that. She knows that if she adds you online, he will learn her name. Mahiru thinks that's not too bad, and that it's a convenient way to drop her name to him. However, it totally ruins Mia's original plan, and that it will make her composed back and forth impossible to execute. Mahiru finds it annoying how Mia keeps making things harder. So, she thinks that she should just give her help. Mahiru informs Mia that she is planning on hanging out with you from now on. This angers Mia, as she questions if Mahiru and you have that kind of relationship. Mahiru denies it, and points out how she never mentioned that they'll be hanging out alone. Meanwhile, later on, after work is done, the cafe manager tells you to put the sign down and close the shop. As they are doing so, she says that they're all heading to the Yuan Mall and asks if he wants to tag along. Yu has nothing to do, so he thought he might as well join them. Yu is then reminded of how it has been a while since he went to that place. The last time he went there was with the trio of brats that, in a flashback, we see how Yu had told them to stay within his sight, because if they were to get lost in this sea of people, he would have a hard time finding them. Meanwhile, the girls also told him to not get lost, which Yu found trivial. Following this, they started exploring the place, and for a second, Yu was a bit caught up with what was going on around him. The next second, the girls were gone. This frustrated him, as he did tell them to stay in sight, but he was also mad at himself for not being more cautious. He starts looking for them, and was wondering what would happen if the girls get in the line of some weirdos. Eventually, he was done searching every key part, but still didn't find them. Just then, an announcement rings off, signaling for a lost child. The name of the child being Yu Aratsuki, a high school student. The announcement described his appearance, making you realize that the brats had pulled a fast one on him. The girls were joking about how it is weird for a high schooler like you to get lost, when a pissed off you finally found them. Back in the present time, you think about how that wasn't a very pleasant memory to remember. That being said, it was a nostalgic one nonetheless. He realizes that he probably wants to go out to the mall with the three of them again. But with his age now, that is probably not possible. Just then, he receives a message from Mahiru, who wanted to talk about the promise he had made with her earlier. She wanted to go on a date with him on the day of the date. Yu arrives at the place, which is the same exact mall he has memories of with them from before. There, he gets greeted by Mahiru, but along with her was Mia as well. This shocks Yu, who asks Mia what she was doing there. Mia feels offended and asks if she's getting in the way. Yu denies her assumptions. Mia still teases him by asking if he really wants to be alone with Mahiru that badly, which makes Mahiru blush too. Mahiru then recollects herself and apologizes to Yu. She says that she had also promised to bring Mia along with her, and because Mia and you seem to get along well, she forgot to tell you about it. Yu judges that Mahiru is the kind of girl who just goes with the flow. Following this, Mia, in a more serious way, says that if he doesn't want her to be here, she can take her leave. Yu quickly tells her not to. He explains that he was just surprised to see her, and that he is glad that she is tagging along. This much is enough to make Mia happy and red in the cheeks, making Mahiru think of her as someone really easy to flatter. Yu is about to ask where they're going for this date, before correcting himself and calling it a shopping trip. The girls, though, tease him by calling it a shopping date, and tell him that there's only one logical place to go for them, the place being the women's fashion store, making you contemplate if they're being for real. Shy, Yu asks if it is even okay for him to enter a women's fashion store. But the girls assure him that it is fine, and that he is a key part of this. They want him to help pick out outfits for them. Yu, still unsure, states that he isn't really a fashion expert, but the girls insist that he does so. Following this, Mia says that she will be going on to try on clothes, and coerces Mahiru to join along as well. They both go inside and try out dresses that suit them. Mia opts for a more elegant and feminine look, with her outfits representing that, while Mahiru picks out more boyish outfits, going for a cooler vibe. They try on quite a few outfits, but Yu just tells them the same thing for all of it, that they look good. Mia picks up on this and calls him out for redundancy. Mahiru had also noticed it, and asked him why he was saying the same thing to everything. Yu admits that he doesn't really know much, so he is just saying what he feels like. Mahiru then pulls Mia into the changing room and secretly asks her why she is doing all of this. After all, they didn't come here to have fun. They were here to make you notice Mia. In reply, Mia says that she did come with that intention, but getting Yu's approval made her heart flutter, so she started doing it. Mahiru appreciates her honesty at least. Mia then says that she thinks you would probably like it better if they dress provocatively. So they start doing that. Mia comes first, wearing an outfit that reveals her midriff and shows a peek at her underwear. This shocks you. Mahiru follows it up with an outfit that focuses on showcasing her breasts better. All of this was quite shocking for you, but the two girls turn it up a notch from there. They come out wearing bikinis and press their chests together to ask you what he feels about it. Yu is obviously left flustered. So, he looks the other way before telling them that he will be waiting outside, leaving both Mia and Mahiru disheartened. After moving away, Yu is thinking to himself how high school girls have gotten bolder with time. Just then the girls returned and thank you for waiting. Mia says that she ended up buying the first outfit that you liked. Yu is glad to know that, but in reality, he doesn't even remember which outfit she is referring to. Mahiru says that she thought you liked the final outfit they wore in particular. Yu's mind is immediately reminded of the two girls in bikinis, making him blush on the spot. This gives Mia and Mahiru the opportunity to tease him by asking him if he really liked it that much. They also point out how his cheeks have grown red. Yu avoids the topic and states that he has been craving to have some snacks, and asks the two if they want anything, with the bill being on him. Mahiru says that Yu sure does like eating a lot, but the both of them are very much interested in getting treated though. The three of them then take a table, where they have ice cream together. Mahiru thinks the ice cream is quite good, something that Yu agrees with. Mia asks Yu what flavor he got for himself, to which he tells her that he got the new chocolate flavor. Seeing this, Mahiru says that his flavor looks good, and asks if she can have a scoop. Yu is fine with that, but Mia senses what is coming. Mahiru shifts forward and asks to be spoon-fed by Yu. This surprises both Mia and Yu. Mahiru thinks it is not that big of a deal, because Yu used to do it all the time back in the days. However, Yu reminds her that she has grown up since. This saddens Mahiru, as she asks Yu if he won't be feeding her. Giving in to her demands, Yu agrees to do it, but it shocks Mia. Yu takes a scoop and feeds it to Mahiru, who likes the flavor, and says that she would like to have more of it. But now, it was Mia who wanted to be fed as well. Yu is taken aback by this, but Mia thinks it is fine because Yu also fed Mahiru. Yu answers by mentioning how he has known Mahiru since she was a kid, which can't be said of Mia. But this upsets Mia, who says that Yu doesn't like her after all. Yu looks at Mahiru for approval, and she gives him the okay sign. So, Yu agrees. Mia opens up her mouth, and Yu promptly feeds her. Mia likes it and licks her lips seductively as she calls it tasty. This makes both Mahiru and Yu feel awkward, but Mia doesn't get why they are reacting that way. Mahiru tells her that the way she ate and licked her lips seemed quite lewd, but Mia vehemently denies it. Mahiru also asks you, as he did also see it. You decides not to comment on the matter, but his expressions made it obvious to Mia that he thought of it like that too. Anyway, it was now time for you to get fed. Mahiru asks him to prepare himself, confusing you. Mia also adds that he needs to take responsibility for what he did to them, to which a confused you says that all he did was feed them ice cream. But the two looked like they were about to pounce on him. Later, after everything was done, they got out of there. You mentions that the ice cream was good, and the other two thank him for it. You subsequently ask Mahiru what they're going to do next, to which she suggests that they can go to the karaoke if he is free. You confirms that he is free for the day, so he can go. Mia is also happy to know that. Furthermore, as a gift for treating her to ice cream, she will be giving him a shot at guessing her name during the karaoke. You guesses that she will be giving some hint during the karaoke, which Mia smilingly says yes to, and also tells him to stay alert during that time. The three of them then headed towards the karaoke, which was just around the corner. As they walk, Mia asks you if he is a regular visitor to the karaoke, to which you says that it's quite the opposite, and that it has been a while since he last visited. Learning this, Mahiru assumes that you then probably doesn't know the usage of karaoke tablet. But you ask her if she thinks he is stupid because he does know that as they decide to rent out the karaoke room. You remembers the two girl students, so they can get a discount. The receptionist asks to see their student IDs, and they get prepared to take them out as well. But you sees an opportunity in this. He knows that he can just read Mia's student ID and learn her name.so. As they are about to show their student IDs, you slowly creeps behind them to get a look, but Mia figures it out. She asks you if he is trying to act smart by sneaking up behind them. She turns back and cutely wiggles her finger to tell him he can't do that. You find her actions to be undeniably cute. Mahiru also questions whether you was trying to cheat, but you denies it. Following this, they go to the karaoke room to sing some songs. However, you is sitting right between Mia and Mahiru, with their chests pressing against him from both sides. You questions what's up with the seating arrangement. In reply, Mahiru asks if he doesn't like it here. Even though he's being flanked by beautiful girls, you can't outright say that he doesn't like it, but he thinks that they should be using the space available to them better. Mia tells him it is better if they sit this way, because it will make singing duets easier. You point out how there are multiple microphones that they can use for duet singing. But Mahiru tells him to not be so critical and complain about such small details and just focus on the singing. Mia also agrees, which makes you feel like he is the bad guy. The singing begins with a powerful duet of you and Mahiru. Mia also joined in getting jealous, which caused Yu's face to be stuck between both of their chests. Then Mia and Mahiru sang as Yu held the mic for them. After a while, Mahiru has to go to the restroom, which leaves Mia and Yu alone. Yu is then reminded of Mia promising to give him a hint at her name during the karaoke session. Mia tells him that he will be giving it to him now, and prepares to sing the song that will give the hint to him that as she starts singing, Yu quickly recognizes the song. He tells Mia how this song was from a popular anime from his childhood. Mia tells him that it is a song that she used to often hear at a friend's house. Yu finds that interesting and says that she must have had a great relationship with that friend. In reply, Mia says that the relationship is a continuing one that she keeps singing the song because she remembers how Yu and she used to watch these anime on rerun and on rental DVDs and sing along to the openings. She is using this song as a way to refresh Yu's memories, to make him think how weird it is how a girl Mia's age knows about this song. This will make him remember about the old times when he used to listen to these songs with her. Once he remembers who she is, she thinks they will get into a romantic embrace. But when she looks back at Yu, she sees him crying profusely, which shocks Mia. Turns out, Yu was crying because he found the song nostalgic. This appalled Mia because she realized that the songs probably reminded him of memories from all the way back in his childhood. Right then, Mahiru returns to the room, and she's shocked by seeing Yu crying like that. Yu quickly explains that he just got nostalgic from the song Mia was singing and nothing more. Yu talks about how it reminded him of easier times where everything was going good. That being said, it's not like he doesn't like it with them. He enjoys hanging out with Mahiru and Mia too. Mahiru sits down beside Yu and says that she probably needs to help him with this. She opens her arms to him, which confuses him, but she subsequently pulls him in for a big fat hug. The hug once again put his face against her chest. Yu finds it quite comfortable, though, and Mahiru comforts her by patting her. This embarrasses Yu, as he pulls out and tells her to not baby him like that. In reply, Mahiru asks her if he didn't like it, and you can't really say that he didn't. Mahiru smiles and tells him to not worry about it. This pisses off Mia, though, and her blank face says a lot. Mia then states that Yu really likes Mahiru and was about to ask him if he is into her, but Mahiru interrupts by standing up awkwardly and reminding them that they still have time, so they should just sing more. After the karaoke session is done, they come out of there satisfied with their singing. They had sung a lot, more than they had in a long time. After all being said and done, an enthusiastic Mia tells you that it is time for him to make today's guess. You had totally forgotten about it, but when he takes everything into account, he guesses Mia's name to be Otonomiya Kyuko. This baffles both of the girls. A disappointed Mia tells you to try his luck next time, shocking you, who had thought he got it right. Mia then brings up the punishment for you, but because she had fun with him today, she gives him a pass again. But Yu is still disappointed by his own guess. Mia then tells them that she has to leave, and subsequently leaves after the other two bid her farewell. After she leaves, Yu suggests that Mahiru and he go back home as well. Yu begins to walk, but Mahiru stays in place, prompting you to ask if anything was wrong. Mahiru, with a serious tone, asks you if he really doesn't recognize who Mia is. Yu is a bit confused by it, but Mahiru thinks this has gone too far and is on the verge of telling you Mia's name. But she gets interrupted by a phone call by her mother. Mahiru is annoyed by the bad timing, but picks up the call regardless. Her mother tells her to pick up some olive oil on her way back home, and she agrees to do so. After hanging up, Mahiru wanted to come back on topic about Mia's name, but when she looks at Yu, she gets shocked. Yu is down in a squatting position, clutching his own body, looking like he had just had a traumatic experience. Mahiru quickly attends to him and asks him if he is okay, and was wondering if she should call an ambulance. Huffing, he says that he is fine now. He then collects himself back up and says that he should probably head home. Mahiru asks if he will be okay heading back like this, to which he says he will. Not long after, Yu goes back home. The next day at school, Mahiru couldn't help but still think about what happened the night before. She had never seen Yu lose his composure and behave like that. She wonders what might be the reason behind it. Mahiru sees fit to go and discuss this with Mia, but remembers that Mia has club activities for the day. Now, she didn't know what to do, but her curiosity was still making her worried at SO. After school, she ends up going to Yu's place to meet him. There, Yu greets her nicely and, seeing her tentative side, asks if anything was up. Mahiru tells him that she wants to talk about what happened the day before. Yu says that yesterday was fun with the karaoke and stuff. It had been some time since he had sung, and he thought he did well for that. He also thinks that Mahiru and Mia sang well too, and that they helped get the blood flowing. Mahiru says that she doesn't mean to talk about that part. Yu then says that if it is about the clothes, then he doesn't know much about fashion. But Mahiru, in a loud tone, says that she doesn't want to talk about that either. With an emotional face, she mentions how he was struggling on his way back. She wants to talk about what happened then. Yu understands what she meant and says that they should go upstairs to discuss that. Once upstairs, Mahiru is reminded of the old times as she returns to Yu's room after a while. Yu settles down on the bed and asks her to sit wherever she wants to. Mahiru decides to sit right beside him. Yu then begins by saying that he has a fear for ringtones. This was weird to Mahiru, so he requests her to hear him out first. He states that for the past few years, hearing his ringtone has always led to bad things for him. We then see a flashback of his boss calling him way past work hours and telling him to deliver stuff to work right at that time. Yu tries to tell him how it was quite late, but the boss wanted it right then because delaying it till morning would do harm. Another time, they would randomly call Yu and tell him to apologize on their behalf. Yu tried telling them how it wasn't even his fault, but they wouldn't listen. Calls kept piling up like this, and it gave him trauma. Ever since then, he is afraid of ringtones going off. Yu does say that it is quite embarrassing to be scared of ringtones, but Mahiru tells him that it's not. Mahiru then jumps on top of him, mounts him, and with tears pouring down her eyes, tells him that something like that isn't embarrassing. She apologizes for being mad over Yu never coming back to paying a visit. She had no idea what he was going through. All of them thought that Yu was enjoying himself after forgetting about them once he got the Tokyo life. Never had they considered that he might have been suffering that much. She sincerely apologizes to him, but Yu doesn't even know why she is doing so. Mahiru then hugs Yu tightly. She assures him that there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. That if he is having trouble, he can always talk to her. That's the kind of relationship they have. So even if he has trouble, she will accept him as he is. She lays down on top of him and tells him that he was always the one who helped her out back in the days. But now things are different, and she can help him too. Hearing this makes you happy, and he hugs her back before thanking her. Meanwhile, at the Mystery Novel Club, Mia is seen acting out a scene with tremendous passion. The director eventually calls for a cut. After the cut, the director and club leader, Nanaka Sena, comes forward and praises Mia for her acting. She tells Mia that she is the perfect choice for the lead and that she is glad to have picked Mia for the role. Mia asks her if her acting looked stiff out there, but Sena tells her that it was very good and looked natural too. Normally, the Mystery Novel Club is only there for critiquing work. However, for the upcoming cultural festival, they decided to make their very own movie. And somehow, Mia has been chosen to play the lead of it. Or rather, she has been persisted into it by Nanaka Sena. After this, Sena tells Mia that the next scene will be the one where Mia's character is revealed as the villain, to which Mia says yes. Sena then tells Mia to put conviction into it and make it seem like she really is the dangerous villain when she acts it out. Mia thinks that's a bit too much to ask of her, but she's up to the task. Because she has no experience playing these types of roles, she searches up on her phone to see if she can find some references. Just then, she receives a text from Mahiru, telling her that Yu has fallen asleep. She then sent a picture of Yu sleeping with his face pressed against her breast to Mia, with a text message tauntingly asking her what she should do. Because Yu isn't waking up, the jealousy and anger fuels Mia, and she gives a convincing performance as the villain. Almost too convincing, actually, because the director was constantly telling her that it was too intense. But Mia, pissed off, started attacking the director, making her call off the scene and asking for help. Later, Mia was kicked out of her role as the lead actress. The next day at school, Mahiru and Mia sat together as Mahiru started talking about how Yu is like a little kid, where she doesn't know if all men are like that, because she never had a boyfriend. On the other side, Mia had her pissed off, blank face, and she was giving emotionless answers. Mahiru goes on, talking about how it was embarrassing at first, but she warmed up to it, and before she knew it, he was asleep in her arms. But it was actually kind of rough too. Mia, still blank, asks her why so. Mahiru explains that they were like that for like half an hour, so by the end of it, her arm had gone numb. When he finally woke up, he got flustered and started blushing. She reminisces about how they were clingier with each other back in the days. Stuff got even more awkward when Yu's mother showed up, saw what was going on, and said that it brought back old memories. This made Yu become more embarrassed than he was. Mia then calls out to Mahiru, puts on a fake smile, and asks her who was the one hugging Yu in that picture she sent. Mahiru says that it was very clear to her. But Mia doesn't want to hear that. As she finally lets out her emotions, she questions Mahiru if she didn't understand what they were even doing. She asks him how she could push him down on the bed and put her indecent breasts on his face. Mahiru is weirded out by the indecent breast term and mentions that she didn't even push him down. Mahiru then tells Mia to calm down. She adds that there was another reason why they were in that position. He was the one who gave her the permission to tell this to Asaka, and Mia only. Mahiru decides to tell Mia. She tells her about the trauma that you went through. Mia couldn't believe that he was really going through so much. Mahiru tells her that it was really bothering him a lot. For them, hearing their ringtone is an everyday thing, but for Yu, it was a reminder of a traumatic time in Tokyo. Mia thinks that's terrible. She then states that she will never forgive the ones who hurt Yu so badly, something that Mahiru can agree with. Mia subsequently apologizes to Mahiru for getting jealous without even knowing the context. Mahiru tells her that it is fine, but Mia starts sobbing without even realizing it, shocking both her and Mahiru. She tries to wipe her tears away, but her emotions overflow. Mia says that she doesn't know why, but whenever Mahiru and Yu get close to each other, she feels a pang of jealousy, even though both of them mean a lot to her. She gets the feeling that both Mahiru and Yu might leave her behind. Mahiro hugs Mia to comfort her. She apologizes to Mia and says that all she wanted to do was support her. She sent her the provocative photo on purpose to make her feel more determined to go ahead and tell him her name. However, it ended up backfiring. Despite that, Mahiro makes it clear that all she wants is for herself, Mia, Asaka, and you to be together again like before. Mia wants the same too, but she wants Mahiro to let her continue her guessing game with you for just a bit longer. She gives Mahiro the puppy eyes. Mahiro sighs before saying it's fine. But she doesn't want Mia to keep pushing it back. If she keeps playing this game for too long, things will eventually get worn out. Mia agrees with her, but Mahiro still feels like she's surrounded by a bunch of crybabies. Later, Mia visits Yu's workplace, only to see that it has been closed. Luckily, she runs into Yu's mother, who tells Mia that they are closed for the day. Mia plays it off cool by saying that she just came because she was close by. Yu's mother then informs her that if she is looking for you, then she can find him at the library. She tells Mia that he only left a little while ago, so she should be able to find you. Mia plays it off cool again and says that she will leave because she has work to attend to, but she ends up going to the library anyway. Mia thinks of herself as too volatile mentally, to the point that she got convinced to come here just because Yu's mother told her he was here. But coming back to the library brought back memories, especially as she looked at the few books about sexual education and the process of making babies. She remembers them using these books to pelt questions at her in a flashback. The three brats ask you what they should do for the research project. You wondered what could be right for a first grader to research on. Mia told him to just give her a subject to research about. After some thinking, you think that they should just be doing research about stuff that interested them, the stuff they were curious about. This makes Mia think about her curiosities, such as why the sky is blue, which you think is a good research topic. Mahiro is curious about why the water boils at 100 degrees, which you also think is a great topic. And Asaka is curious about how babies are made. You almost called it a good topic, before spitting out his drink in shock. With a stutter, you says that the baby-making thing is something they shouldn't probably know about just yet. Asaka questions why, to which he says that he too is more interested in stuff like why the sky is blue and why space is black. Asaka thinks that's fair, and Yu offers to take the kids to the library to help them with their research at the library. Mia finds out that blue light spreads out faster, which explains a lot. Yu tells her to find a way. To summarize this part in an easy and fun way to get her research project done, he also adds that he will be studying too, so if the girls need him, they could just ask him. Meanwhile, Mahiro brings Asaka a few good books about the subject she was interested in. Asaka goes to Yu to show him the books, but Mia interrupts to tell everyone that a movie was being screened upstairs. Yu asks Mia to be quiet because it was a library. Mia obliges and whispers to ask Yu if they can go upstairs. Yu agrees to let them go and tells them to leave their books to him so that he can explain it to them when they're back. After they come back, Yu asks them who had picked out the books about baby making, to which Mahiro admits that she's the one who found them. Yu thinks that it makes sense that it was her. She did it because Asaka was curious about the topic. An excited Asaka then asks Yu to explain the baby-making procedure to them as he had promised. This draws eyes from others, who think of him as a PDF file, all to Yu's dismay. Back in the current time, Mia finds it funny how Asaka would often put Yu in tough predicaments. Thinking back on it, she thinks they got away with it because they were kids, and they can't be pulling those things on him now, especially now that they understand stuff. But it's not like stuff like that would happen again. Just then, Yu appears in front of her and greets her. Mia is shocked to find him there, just as his mother said. She plays it off like a coincidence and acts normal. She asks Yu what book he was checking out, to which Yu says that it is a mystery novel he wanted to read for a while that he subsequently asks Mia what she was checking out. Mia looks at the books themselves to see that they were books about sexual education, which makes her flustered and not able to answer. She calls it a secret before turning around and scooting away from the scene. He tries to call out to her and stop her, but he gets scolded by the librarian for being loud. Yu still wondered what was up with the girl he didn't know was Mia. Next up, Yu was thinking about how he isn't particularly good at a lot of things. As he ages up, the sentiment that he isn't good at stuff gets greater. There are still things out there that he simply can't handle. And with horror on his face, Yu is face to face with one of those things that he can't handle. For context, we see a flashback during the summer. Yu is feeling the heat when Mia came to visit him. She asks him if he is alive, to which he says that if he wasn't, then he wouldn't be in front of her. That Yu's eyes then go to the box Mia was carrying. So he asks her what it was. Mia shows him the beetle she had caught, and she asks Yu if it isn't the coolest thing. But seeing the butt gave Yu the shivers. He doesn't like bugs, or well, not anymore at that point. As he grew older, his disdain for bugs just got stronger and stronger. But Mia doesn't know, so she just takes the bug out of the box and gives you a close-up view of her beetle. She asks him if it is cute, to which he says yes, but he does feel very nervous. Mia then tells you that she will let him touch it. Yu immediately turns her offer down. Mia assures him it is fine, and that he doesn't need to hold back. Yu, backing out, says that it's not about backing down. He makes up a lie, saying that he is allergic to beetles. Mia tells him that his mom already told her that you used to catch beetles all the time, which annoys you. Regardless, Mia just leaves the beetle on his leg. As you notices the beetle climbing up his leg. It frightens him. His facials say it all. Mia notices it and asks you if he is scared of bugs while making a mischievous face. Yu understands that if Mia were to learn of his discomfort about bugs, she would tease him for the rest of his life. So he acts brave and says that he doesn't really care and that he can manage bugs well. Just then, he noticed that the bug had climbed all the way up to his chest. This scares him. Yu begs for the bug to turn around and go the other way and not climb up any further, while Mia cheered for it to climb higher. Suddenly, Yu's eyes meet with the beetle, and it starts flapping its wings. The beetle then starts flying around, which Mia finds cool, but Yu obviously doesn't. The bug buzzes around in the air as he becomes more frightened and asks Mia to do something about it. The bug then flies straight onto Yu's forehead, which Mia points out. Firstly, Yu starts shaking before rolling his eyes and falling down. This worried Mia. Yu doesn't remember much from that day, but he knows that it was the first time he had fainted in his life. Back in the current time, Yu is reminded of those memories as he witnessed the thing that he hated the most. The creepy black creature, which is considered an enemy of all humanity. The thing that makes all of humanity uncomfortable, a cockroach, was right in front of him. He wanted to ask for help from someone, but being in a restaurant meant he couldn't make a commotion. He wondered what he could even do in this situation. Upon thinking, he comes to the conclusion that he only has two logical choices here. Either he waits here and does nothing until there are no more customers in the restaurant, or he acts on the matter and does something about the roach without making others uncomfortable. He also knew well that pulling off the first option is hard. After all, he needs to wait for everyone to leave, and there is no saying where the roach will be heading until then. It is sending shivers down his spine, thinking about losing track of the roach. That only leaves him with two choices. He needs to do something, but he wonders if he can even do something, especially considering he has fainted because of these things before. Just then, Mia appears behind him and asks you what he was doing, to which he says that is in a battle with a tough opponent. Mia is confused by that. He was about to explain further, but he soon notices that it was Mia and asks her how long she had been there for. She just smiles and wishes him a good afternoon and asks him what he is actually doing. Yu decides against telling her because there is only one way a girl would react in this situation, that is by screaming. Especially a cute girl like Mia is definitely going to react like that. So he just says that it is nothing, but Mia figures that he is hiding something. But Yu keeps denying it and tries to change the topic, but Mia finds it suspicious and tries to sneak a peek. She sees the butt that was there and gets close to it. Yu had realized that Mia had seen the bug, and he was praying to the Lord that she doesn't end up screaming. But Mia very casually picks it up from there barehanded. She shows it to Yu, who is scared, but it is just a rhino beetle toy. Yu calms down and asks Mia what's the big deal about that, but Mia tells him that this should be her question to him. Later, they tell Yu's mother, who is disappointed with her son. She had already taught Yu what to do when he sees a bug inside. So, she purposefully placed this bug to see how Yu reacts. Yu says that he couldn't react because he was too disgusted. She reassures Yu by telling him that they have a pest control guy coming every now and then, so they haven't seen an actual bug in over a decade. She then goes to attend to the customer. Meanwhile, Mia takes advantage of the distracted you by flashing the bug toy in front of him, scaring him in the process. Mia laughs as she adds that it seems like you isn't very good with bugs, while you says that it's rare to have someone Mia's age be not afraid of bugs. You also breaks into laughter. Mia asks him what's so funny about this, to which you says that this reminded him of the past, where something similar happened with one of the brats. Hearing him call her a brat upsetted her, but you continues on talking about how he had fainted back then. You then ask her what she is doing here all of a sudden. Mia tells him that she came for the name guessing game, but there's something she needs to show him before that. She brings out the invitational leaflet to the upcoming festival. Seeing it made you nostalgic, as he had no idea that it was that time of the year again. Anyway, you ask her why brought this to him, to which a shy Mia asks him if he would like to go to the festival with her. The festival is being held on Mount Sengen during the Golden Week. Yu is still taken aback by the fact that it is already time for that. Mia once again asks him if he would go to the festival with her, because she is determined to remind him who she is during the festival. But he says that he can't go, disappointing her. He says that while he wants to go, he needs to help out with work at the shop. Just then, his mother comes in and tells him that he should take some time off too, providing the assist for Mia. In that case, Yu is fine with going, which makes Mia very happy. She adds that she will bring along Mahiru and bring snacks for them, which he thinks is great. Yu's mother teases him by saying it's nice that he is getting invited by a cute girl, embarrassing Yu. Following that, Mia asks him to take his guess at her name for the day. Yu guesses her name is Yubusame Yumi, which annoys Mia. She once again scares him by putting the bug toy on his face and telling him to take this more seriously. Later, at her house, Mia was very excited about going to the festival with Yu, and she couldn't stop thinking about it. Her little sister, Mizora Hariyama, notices this and asks her if something good has happened, which Mia denies and asks her why she's eating chips at the sofa, even though Mia told her not to. Mizora tells her to not sweat it, as she promises to clean up the sofa after she is done. Just then, the doorbell rings, and Mia suggests Mizora clean up the place now that people are here. But Mizora doesn't really care about that. Mia tells her that it is probably Mahiru, which excites Mizora. She immediately goes to the door and opens up to see Mahiru. Mahiru greets her, and Mizora is happy to have her come home as well. Mizora asks Mahiru to come play games with her, but Mahiru tells her that she first needs to talk with Mia, and that she will play games with her later. Mia also chimes in, telling Mizora to not bother Mahiru. Mizora, in reply, tells Mia to be more like Mahiru, confusing her. Mizora explains that she shouldn't probably be dressed in such casual clothes when people come over. This was embarrassing, as Mia was wearing ordinary clothes. But she plays it cool by saying that she is at her own house, and it's just Mahiru, so it is cool. Mizora makes fun of her, saying it's her mentality that is keeping her from getting a boyfriend. So now, she resorts to reading weird fortune-telling books and smiles while doing so. Mia denies smiling while reading them, and tells Mahiru to just come to her room and get to Mia's bedroom. She and Mahiru settle down, as Mahiru talks about how Mizora is cute and that she would love to have a sister like her. Mia gets that, but also adds that Mizora has gotten sassy as of late. She just wants to play games until she wins, and comes into Mia's room without permission to play games and read manga. Mia doesn't really like her entitled behavior. Mahiru, however, thinks this is quite reminiscent of their own behavior as kids. She wonders if he was also feeling like this when they were kids. Mahiru then asks Mia to tell her why she called her. Mia subsequently starts the meeting of the community that needs to remind you of who Mia is. Mia is very formal about this. Mahiru speaks up, stating that they wouldn't need to do all this if she just musters up the courage to tell you that she is Mia. But Mia rejects this suggestion and tells Mahiru that she already knows why. Instead, Mia goes full nerd as she describes how she wants a plan where she can show you who she is without getting her desperation to be known by him. Moreover, she still wants it so that you is the one who figures her out and that they can have a good conversation afterwards. Mahiru thinks that's too much to pull off, and trying to do that has only resulted in failure so far. Mia also agrees. Mia is aware of how things are going, so she decided to take action herself. Mahiru wonders what this action is all about. So, Mia elaborates how she invited you to the horseback archery festival. Once there, you will definitely be reminded of who Mia is when she has apple candy and chocolate banana in front of him. Mahiru doesn't think that'll work, but Mia thinks she can make it work. Besides, she will be taking Mahiru along with her to provide support as she needs assistance too. Mahiru doesn't like how Mia is literally making decisions for everyone by herself. However, the thought of going to the festival with you does excite Mahiru. She talks about eating apple candy and playing shooting games with him, while imagining a scenario where she hugs him. Mia quickly calls her out on this, accusing her of having lewd thoughts again. Mahiru snaps out of it and says that not all thoughts she has are lewd. Mia claims to have seen lewdness in her chest, and her face was becoming weird too. Mahiru denies it and moves back to the previous topic, saying she understands where Mia is coming from. But she doesn't think this will work, and they'll fail again. Mia asks her if she really feels that way. So Mahiru explains how they're talking about a dimwit like you. Just taking him to the festival wouldn't remind him of anything. Mia asks her what she should do then. Mahiru says that they should probably show something significant to you that will definitely remind him who she is. Mia understands that she needs something to trigger his old memories, and she feels like she has exactly the right thing to do. She brings out a hairpin, and Mahiru asks just what is it in a flashback. It is seen that Mahiru, Mia, and Asaka would role-play as a magical girl trio called the Magicuda 3, and Mia would wear this as her hairpin. They, the trio of magic girls, would attack you, the bad guy, in hopes of ending the darkness and bringing the light. They would power up this super move of theirs, which would just end up with Mahiru punching you in the nuts. This takes back Mahiru down the memory lane in current time. Mia mentions how they all had their special items that they would wear to pretend to be magical girls, and this was her item. Mahiru asks if she plans on using this to trigger his memories. Mia sure hopes to do so, because this hairpin was a birthday gift she received from you, so she is betting on him remembering it. Mahiru asks her if she plans on wearing it and going to the festival. She thinks it'll be quite embarrassing. Mia dreads that part, but knows that this is a sacrifice needed to be made. Mahiru thinks that if she's going that far for him, she should just tell him. Just then, Mahiru cooks up a plan. Mahiru says that if she has the hairpin, she must also have the dress. Mia says that she does probably have it. Mahiru suggests she wears that and shows it to you, hoping he would remember. But this embarrasses Mia, as she thinks there's no way she can do it. Mahiru pushes for it though. Mia tells her how she wouldn't even fit into it, but Mahiru suggests that she tries it first. Outside the room, Mizora, who doesn't like the fact that she has to deliver snacks for Mia and Mahiru upstairs, comes to deliver the food. She lets them know she is coming in, but hears some noises from the inside. Inside the room, an embarrassed Mia, who was wearing the dress from 10 years ago, was doing the same introduction she did back then. Mahiru points out how Mia is basically bursting out of the dress, something Mia had already suspected would happen. She starts taking it off, when suddenly Mizora comes in. Mizora is traumatized by the visual she had witnessed. She had no idea that her sister was into these things, so she immediately ran back downstairs to tell her mother. Meanwhile, Mia was left embarrassed and had to explain that it wasn't what it looked like. The scene then changes to you being greeted by an excited and younger version of Mia. You tells her to calm down, but she was running like a bratty kid, asking you to speed up. You eventually grabbed her hand, but an adult voice asked him what he was doing. Surprised, you asked the adult girl if she was Mia, to which the girl shows disgust and tells him that he shouldn't be acting like they're familiar to each other. This hurt you, who couldn't believe this was happening. Just then, he wakes up with a loud scream. You realizes that what he had seen was a dream. His mother comes to his room and asks him why he was yelling, to which he said it was nothing. She then asks him to get up and get ready before leaving. But he was left wondering about Mia and how she is now as a person soon. It was May the 5th at the heart of the Sengen Shrine. This is the day when the Horseback Archery Festival is held. As the name suggests, there will be a competition where horseback riding and archery will be combined. Yu's parents' shop also has a stall there, so he had to work hard to set it up. After he is done doing so, he decides to go on a bit of a break. Right at that moment, the girls arrive. Yu sees Mahiru first, and is immediately taken aback by the revealing top and tiny shorts she was wearing. He asks her why she was dressed like that, to which she says that she doesn't get his concern because this is how people normally dress. Mia chimes in and adds that dressing this way is quite normal now. Mia then asks him about her look, and she was dressed in a beautiful and elegant dress, with a hairpin on her head that Yu's eyes go to the hairpin, and Mia likes that he brings it up, only for him to say that it looks good on her and suits her. Initially, this makes her very happy, but she quickly realizes that this isn't her goal. She once again asks Yu if he really likes it, to which Yu asks if he shouldn't. Mia clarifies that she didn't mean it like that. Yu says that the hairpin looks familiar, and Mia asks him how. She hopes that he has remembered her through this. He asks her if she remembers about the other brat he talked about before. Mia says yes, but feels offended by him calling her a brat. Yu continues by saying that he got a hairpin of the same design for her on her birthday years ago. Mia feels frustrated, as it is the same design because it is the exact same one that Yu thinks about them, and says that it was a great gift for her. He then concludes by saying that's all, leaving Mia deflated. Subsequently, Mia takes Mahiru to the side for a meeting. Mahiru says that it's a shame that he didn't get it, and Mia feels bad because she went through all that embarrassment for nothing. Mia then points out how Yu had been in Tokyo for 10 years, so he should know how to dress himself because people there dress. Mahiru thinks that he never had the time to notice it, but Mia still feels frustrated by it. Mahiru then asks Mia what she will do with the hairpin, which she decides to take off. They come back to Yu again, and he notices that Mia had taken off the hairpin, which he felt looked nice on her. Following this, Mia asks Yu if he is hungry, because they did bring food for him. Yu is happy to know that, and Mia also tells him that he can give some of it to his parents. Following this, they find a spot to sit down and eat. Yes, they start eating. Yu asks the two if they'd like to go see the horseback archery next. Mahiru says that she will be up for it if Yu tags along. Yu also wants to go as it has been a while since he watched it, but suddenly his eyes dart towards Mahiru. The sauce was dripping out of her roll and onto her breast. Yu tried to warn her, but it was a bit too late. Still, Mahiru asks him to wipe it off her breasts, as both of her hands were full. But this flustered Yu, who didn't think it would be appropriate. But Mahiru tells him to do it because the sauce was going to drip on her clothes and ruin them. With no other choice, Yu agrees to do it. This stuns Mia, and as he was about to clean it for Mahiru, she tells them to stop. She says she will do it for Mahiru, while being shocked by how causally Mahiru had told Yu to basically touch her breasts. She then starts doing it for her and scolds Mahiru for trying to do something so indecent in public. She even falls for a perverted Tita monster, a name that Mahiru didn't like. Yu looked in and was glad to see them get along so well. But as he watched them, he got déjà vu. It felt like he was watching a young Mia caring for a young Mahiru. It almost felt the same scenario, but a person was missing that it also reminded him of the dream he had earlier about Mia. But yes, they come back to him. He can't help but be amazed how it has already been 10 years. They then go to watch the horseback archery. As they watch, they can't help but be amazed by the skill on showcase. But he was feeling a bit confused, so he asked the two girls why they were holding his hand all of a sudden about a few minutes earlier. Mia and Mahiru had discussed how their hairpin plan was a total flop, so they wondered what they could do here. Mahiru suggested they try to get close to him with some physical touches. This flusters Mia, but Mahiru quickly explains that it's nothing indecent, and that she was referring to normal stuff. So that's why they're holding his hand now, and they were about to move ahead like that. Yu wasn't sure about walking like this, but Mahiru told him that he should be happy with having a beautiful girl in each hand. Yu gets that, but he fears that everyone in the crowd will be staring at them. Mia also points out that there's a huge crowd here, and the congestion makes her trip. Luckily, she's caught by Yu, and the two of them get very close to each other physically thanks to it. Their faces dangerously close to a kiss. Mahiru breaks the awkwardness by saying that holding hands was a good idea after all, as it helped Mia when she was about to fall. Yu eventually agreed to the hand-holding, but only while they were in the crowd. Mahiru feels Yu isn't happy enough about his situation, so she decides to tune it up a notch. The two of them press their chest against his arm to impress him, but Yu says that it makes the walking even harder. Mizora ends up witnessing this from behind, and she is left speechless as her friends ask her what's wrong. Mizora couldn't believe that she was watching her sister and Mahiru hold on to some random old guy. As the story progresses, we see Misora's friends ask her if there was something wrong and if she was feeling all right. To which, she responded by saying that it was nothing and that she was all right. Afterward, Misora thought about what her sister was doing, and that was why she was with an older guy. Following that, she further thought, it was true that her sister nowadays comes home late, and on top of that, she was acting a bit strange recently. Moments later, as she was thinking about all this matter, she suddenly got stunned, and at this time she was thinking if that older guy was her sister's boyfriend. A week after that, we can see that she was at home, but she was still thinking about the older guy's incident. As she entered a particular room, she saw that her sister and mother were already in the room, and there she was thinking that it had been a week since she saw her sister and her sister's friend with that old guy. But, still, she doesn't go to the bottom of the matter. There, she also realized that her sister was still coming home late, and that there were days when she seemed to be in a good mood, and sometimes she felt like she was not in a good mood. On the other hand, her sister looked at her and thought what she was thinking. Misora, there thought that her sister seemed lost in her thoughts, and then suddenly, her face would sharpen as if she had a brilliant idea. As she was thinking of these, she was staring at her sister and thought something was suspicious, and she suddenly said out loud that it was suspicious. Hearing that, her sister asked if she was talking to her. She said no, and then she thought if that old guy was her sister's boyfriend, then it could be a big crisis for her family, and at this time, she was having all the bad thoughts, like what if her sister gets married to that old guy? As she was thinking all of these things, Misora's mother asked her to take a bath with her, and she agreed to that. Later in the bathroom, as she and her mother were taking a bath, Misora asked her mother what the age gap was between her mother and father. In response to that, she replies that she was now 40 years old, and her husband was 45, so the age gap was 5 years, and she says that it was quite a big gap. Hearing that, Misora thought that her sister Mihiru and that old guy seemed to have a 10-year gap. Following that, she asked her mother what she would do if she found out that she was dating someone who was 10 years older than her. Hearing that, her mother was stunned and asked her what she was asking about. To which, she told her that she was actually asking hypothetically. As she heard that, her mother thought that her daughter surely did read a lot of manga. Her mother then told her that if that was the case, then she would call the police. Hearing that, Misora was absolutely flabbergasted. Her mother then again said she would definitely call the police, because all these things that she was saying were a crime. Misora then again asked if her mother would do that, knowing that they are in love. She replied, in that case, love doesn't matter at all. Hearing that, she thought in this case, her sister was going to be in some real trouble if her mother found it out, and on top of that, her sister's friend would be in trouble too, and that it would be a double disaster. And at this time, we can see that she was really astonished and scared at the same time. Following that, her mother asked her what exactly she was talking about. Hearing that, Misora said she would have to go now because something important had come up, and she left, saying in her mind that now she would have to have a conversation with Mihiru about this matter. In the next scene, Misora called up Mihiru. As she saw the phone ring, she answered the phone, and straight away, Misora asked her if she was having an affair with that older guy. There, she recognized that it was Misora's voice, so she asked her what she was doing. Misora said she was doing well. After that, she apologized for bringing that topic up so suddenly. Following that, she said at the festival the other day, she saw her and her sister holding hands with an older man. Hearing that, she replied that he was actually kind of an old man. In response to that, Misora quickly said that she knew it, and that she and her sister were holding hands with that older man, and at one point, they were hugging him too. Hearing that, Mihiru was flabbergasted and replied that it was not a hug at all. Afterward, Misora asked tensely if she was dating that guy, to which a surprised Mihiru said that she was not at all dating that older man. Misora said that she understood. Moments later, she said this means that the older guy was her sister's boyfriend. To which, she said, Misora was not quite right there either. Misora was stunned to hear that, and asked if that was true. Mihiru said it was very true. After that, she said she now wants to change the topic. But, Misora, on the other hand, asked if that means that they were holding hands with a guy who was not one of their boyfriends. A stunned Mihiru there said that she was actually right, and that guy was no one's boyfriend, technically. But then again, she said that Misora misunderstood something there. After that, she elaborates, they have known that guy for a long time, and that they were both really close with that guy. Hearing that, Mizora asked her what that older man meant to them. Hearing that, Mahiru crossed her leg, and after stuttering a bit, she replied that that guy was someone very important to her. Following that, Mahiru asked Mizora if she had heard anything from Mia about that guy, to which she said no. She replied, she understands that part, and that back then, when this thing started, Mizora was not even born. Following that, she said it was a long story. Then, as they were talking on the phone, suddenly Miyu came and called Mizora from behind, and she was a little taken aback, so she hung up the phone. After that, Miyu asked Mizora how long she was planning to stay up and why she was still awake. Following that, she asked her to go to bed already. Hearing that, Mizora said that she did and that she understood. Hearing that, Miyu said that she was behaving like a brat. Mizora then said she was the one to talk to, and that she was in no position to lecture her. Hearing that, Miyu asked what she was talking about. Mizora said that the guy's name is Yu Aratsuki, and she asked if she was right. Hearing that, Miyu was stunned, and for some time, she didn't know what she should say to her sister. Moments later, she asked where she had heard that name. She replied that she heard it from Mahiru. Following that, she said that it seems to her that she was a brat herself, too, back then. A flabbergasted Miyu got really angry with Mahiru, and she was thinking, what the hell did she tell her? Mizora then further goes on to say that even now, she was hiding her identity from that guy. Following that, she asked her not to trouble Yu Aratsuki that much and called her a brat. Hearing that, she asked her what she had told her and how far she had gone with the story. Mizora then rolled her eyes and said that she's not supposed to go to bed now. Hearing that, Miyu was frustrated, but she controlled herself and put on a fake smile. Following that, she said it would be fine if she stayed up for a little bit. But Mizora said that she suddenly got very sleepy and yawned, and she told her that she was now going to sleep. Therefore, she asked her to leave the room. Next up, as Mizora was on the bed, she was saying to herself that after listening to Mahiru, she understood the relationship between her sister and Yu Aratsuki. But, then again, she thought, if they were just so close for so long, then why were she and Mahiru holding Yu Aratsuki's hands like this? There, we can see that Mizora was really confused about this matter, and she didn't know what to believe there. Following that, she says her heart and 2 years of experience of reading manga instincts said that Mahiru and her sister both liked the man. The next day, we see Mahiru at the game court, and there everyone was asking her if there was something wrong with her, and that's why she was looking so lost in her thoughts. To which, she said that she was just thinking of something. After that, her friends told her that they would have a practice volleyball match and asked her to stay focused. To which, she replied that she knows that. But, inside, she was thinking about the answer that she had given to Mizora about Yu Aratsuki, and there she indeed thought that Yu Aratsuki was really an important person to her, and that was all. Then she thought as she was playing that all these thoughts were pointless, and that she shouldn't be thinking that at all. Following that, her thoughts were interrupted by her mates, and they were now getting ready to play the practice match. Suddenly, a man is seen outside the arena, wondering if this is the right place, before seemingly entering to watch the match of volleyball. Just as they were practicing spikes and getting all fired up for the upcoming match, Mahiru was informed about someone calling her from over there. Mahiru agrees to head over and check out who it was. However, upon seeing the person, she is left an embarrassed mess, all while she questions what was going on. The person just greets her normally in reply. The person was none other than Yu Aratsuki, hence why Mahiru was acting so surprised. She asks him why he was there. Yu smiles and tells her that one of the regular customers at their shop happens to be a member of this volleyball club. During their conversation, Mahiru came up as a topic. This surprises Mahiru, but Yu continues on, adding that the mother asked him if he wanted to come and cheer for Mahiru during the practice match. This confuses her even more, but Yu clarifies that he was there to cheer on for Mahiru, the captain. This flustered Mahiru hard, as she said that no one told her about Yu Aratsuki coming to cheer for her, to which he says that they must have forgotten to mention it. Yu Aratsuki assures her not to be worried about this, because he came here to watch with permission. After all, things are quite strict these days. Mahiru tells him that it is not about that. She was embarrassed because she was actively trying to avoid him so as not to start having any unneeded thoughts about him. Worried, Yu asks if he made a mistake by coming to see her. Mahiru tentatively tells him it is fine. She turns around, takes a deep breath, and tries to convince herself that this was not as big a deal as she is making it out to be. She just needed to avoid distractions and focus on the match. So, she tells Aratsuki that it is fine. He can cheer for her all he wants, but she doesn't want him to stand out and distract her during the match. Yu says that it is fine by him, because he was just there to enjoy the match as a spectator anyway. This takes a lot of weight off of her shoulders and allows Mahiru to return to the team meeting. However, once there, she is bombarded with a plethora of questions by her teammates. The first one asks if Aratsuki was Mahiru's boyfriend. The second one asked if she had finally found her one. The third one was just happy to know that the good times had arrived for Mahiru. The fourth one, a junior, was very curious about what Mahiru's boyfriend was like. While the fifth one was happy knowing that their iron-willed saint of a captain had finally dropped her guard for a man. Blushing red by this point, Mahiru exclaimed that it was not at all what it looked like to them. Also, she didn't really think highly of the iron-willed saint nickname, much to the teammates' displeasure. The teasing was far from over, though, as they continued on, pointing out how Mahiru looked quite friendly with him, not to mention, her blushing face was telling. Mahiru, still blushing, argued that she wasn't blushing and blamed it on the hot temperature inside the arena. However, her claim is quickly debunked when it is revealed that the windows were already open for air to come in. Mahiru just flustered more because of this, as she tried her best to convince them that it wasn't what it looked like, much to their enjoyment. Mahiru calms herself down and explains that Aratsuki is more like an older brother if anything, someone who took care of her when she was a little kid. Hearing this, the first one is confusing. The second teammate is convinced. The third one agrees to leave it at that for the time being. The junior one thought it was pretty cute, while the fifth one expressed disappointment over it not being real. Regardless of that, they all thought the captain looked very cute when she blushed, prompting her to blush more. Still blushing, she yells at them and declares that they were starting off already without slacking off further. She demanded all of them give it their all despite the fact that it was just a practice match. They all agreed. They do their pre-match cheer before getting ready for the match to begin. The match begins with North High, Mahiru's team, on the attack. Mahiru delivered the opening serve, a swinging slow one which was received by the opposition, but the ball went right back to North High. Mahiru receives it and cushions it to the setter and tells them to think fast. The setter sets it up for the spiker, who slams it down for the first point. North High celebrated their point before getting back into position. Mahiru held her defensive position and encouraged everyone to get another point. Yu watches this, and he couldn't help but be amazed. Mahiru was really good at being a leader. It was surreal for him to see the little girl he babysat suddenly becoming such a fantastic volleyball player, just as he saw her receive another time. One of Mahiru's teammates makes a howler, costing them a point. However, Mahiru showed maturity and told her not to worry about it, and told her she would get it right next time. This impresses Yu, as he acknowledges that Mahiru had really grown up a lot. As the match continued, and things began to get cagey, Mahiru gave it her all for the team and to win. Even though it didn't come out right every time, she was giving it her all. Aratsuki was moved by her hard work. It forced him to come out of his shell and begin to cheer loudly for her. Q11. As he loudly shouts Mahiru's name to encourage her and tells her she can do it. This catches the attention of everyone there. But most importantly, it embarrasses Mahiru right then and there. Aratsuki himself was embarrassed and was very emotional himself. It made the opposition wonder why an old guy like him was here, and if he was there for North High. He also looked like he was on the verge of tears for what was only a practice match. QQ2. Naturally, Mahiru's teammates picked up on 1WA QQWQ won this, and started teasing her about it. The blonde one pointed out to her that her boyfriend was cheering heartily for her, and that their love was cute. Mahiru, annoyed, once again clarifies that Aratsuki was, in fact, not her boyfriend. Upon calming down, though, the effects of him cheering started to show. Mahiru began to show more heart, and gave more effort for her every jump, her every spike. All because Aratsuki was cheering for her, and she had to live up to his expectations. In the end, Mahiru's team won the final set with 25 points. After the match, Mahiru and Aratsuki walk home together. As they do so, Mahiru mentions that a grown man crying and cheering is a bit too embarrassing in her opinion. To her shock, He ends up tearing again as he mentions that watching his little Mahiru grow up so well made him tear up. She understands that he really is a hopeless dude. So, she hugs him and consoles him like he was a kid or something. Suki quickly rebounds and asks her not to treat him like a kid, but she explains that she was just consoling him. Afterwards, as they kept walking, Suki mentions that Mahiru really was cool out there on the playing field. The way she executed that spike was lightning quick, he added. Mahiru boasts a bit about her power by mentioning that despite being a girl, her spikes can clock up to and over 100 kilometers per hour. Yu finds that amazing. Yu also praises Mahiru's leadership capabilities, because she was keeping a good eye on the team as well. Mahiru explains that doing so is a part of her responsibilities. She is the team captain after all. She further adds that he won't get anywhere by praising her so much. Yu elaborates that he was just speaking what he was thinking of. He was just a bit overwhelmed seeing how much she has grown as a person. 10 years really was a long time, he thought. Mahiru checks him out with a side eye before she is reminded of something. She mentions that he might not be able to see her for the next few coming weeks. Suki is taken aback by this, and he asks her why. Mahiru's shoulders immediately slumps down as she goes into a depressed mood. With a grim look on her face, she mentions that her tests are starting soon. Yu remembers that it's really that time of the year, and Mahiru tells him that she will be busy being depressed for a while now. Yu gives this a long thought before suggesting he helps Mahiru out with her studies if she really is struggling so much. Mahiru is surprised by this. Her face flows up immediately as she states that studying with him would be ideal for her. However, she wonders if that would really be okay. Yu tells her that it's no big deal and that he would talk to his parents to make some time out to tutor her. He suggests they use his room as their studying place, just like they used to in the past. Mahiru is excited by this and wanted to do it more than anything else. She also adds that the other girl would also be happy to join along as well. Taken aback, Yu asked who she meant by the other girl, and if she was insinuating Mia. But Mahiru interrupts him and adds that she was talking about the mysterious girl as always. Yu giggles upon hearing that she was referring to that girl. Mahiru questions who else did he thought she was referring to. Yu stops laughing before saying that it doesn't really matter and nothing to worry about. It was just his imagination anyway. Mahiru is fine with that. However, she decides to tease Yu by asking if he would rather have the sessions with Mahiru only. Yu looks at her before just brushing off her assumption. Mahiru, a bit disappointed with that reply. Following that, the two bid each other farewell and head their own ways. Later that night, Suki arrives home and crashes out on his bed. He feels ashamed for not being able to muster up the courage to ask Mahiru about Mia again. However, as he checked his phone, there was something on his mind. He wondered if Mahiru and Mia aren't as close anymore as they once were.